What's up, everybody? It's 1090 Jake. Welcome back to another episode of EOS. And for this interview, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro.
The boy Wakko The Kid, man. The kid that did. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Now, I would like to, because I've seen interviews of you before, but I would like to start from the very beginning for myself and for other people that aren't as familiar with your story. So where did you grow up at, and what was life like for you early on?
Shit, I'm from North Hollywood, California. Van Nuys, North Hollywood, Valley Boy. That's L.A. for everyone that don't know. And shit, I grew up in a mostly Latino neighborhood. You know, if you know North Hollywood, it's a large Latino community. Like any other kid that really ain't really have too much as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Just running around in the streets, being a badass kid, you know what I'm saying? And but blessed to be from L.A. because you know there's a lot of worse places that you could have grown up in and all that, you know what I'm saying? But shit, life was, you know, what you make it, you know what I'm saying? And in my situation, shit, I turned it into something good, even though it wasn't the greatest.
Now, what are you?
I'm Irish.
You're Irish.
Yep.
I'm Irish.
I love it. You know what I'm saying?
What was it like for you growing up in that neighborhood being Irish?
Shit, I felt like I always got love everywhere I went, you know what I'm saying?
Really?
Because like, that's just how I carry myself, and I'm really in the culture and really grew up a part of a lot of different cultures. And in my situation, you know, I was the minority. So a lot of people have other experiences being a white boy or whatever the fuck. But for me, I feel like I always just felt at home in a Latino community or a black neighborhood. You know, that's just like what I was used to growing up, you know? So I feel like I always got love, to be honest.
Now, I feel the same way when it comes to Florida. Florida, a lot of things are mixed. Everybody has the same slang. And if you grow up in Florida, you're from Florida, it doesn't really matter which part, you're more so embraced because everyone is a part of the same culture.
Yeah.
But the West Coast, from what I've heard, has very racial politics.
Segregated. It's definitely, yeah.
Right. So how did you experience anything like that, or did you have to deal with anything like that? And at what point do you think you started to notice?
I think that because I'm white, I didn't deal with that. Now, if I was Mexican or black, the racial segregation and you know, the racial politics and all that in LA is really between Latinos and black folks. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I didn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like I seen it just growing up in LA. You know, like this a Mexican hood, this a black hood. They beef it, da-da-da-da-da. But as a white boy, you know, like I've always been blessed to be able to just move around because I don't gangbang, first off and foremost, you know what I'm saying? I'm not affiliated. I'm just, you know, I'm from LA. So if you're from LA, everyone aware of it, everyone around it grew up with gang members and all that, but it's not like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't segregated. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with everybody, and I've always been cool with everybody.
Is there a term for somebody from LA that isn't a gang member?
What they call it, a tuna. Tuna, well, it's really a prison term, but it means turned up non-affiliate. You know what I'm saying? It mean like don't play with him, but he not a gang member.
He's with the shit, but he ain't
not a
banging
gang
nothing.
member. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They call them tunas.
That's fire. Because I think I heard of something like resident or something, but that just means
a
you live
resident
there.
just means that you're not a gang member.
But when you with the shit, it's a tuna.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? They
That's
would be like,
fire. I never heard that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, shit, like I said, I never been to prison. I've been to county here and there, a couple of different states, some little bullshit. But that's just me being from LA and just listening to everyone. You know what I'm saying? So
that's dope though.
Yeah.
So at what point or at what age do you feel like you started to get more into the streets?
By the time I was 7, we was breaking windows and hopping fences and you know what I'm saying, stealing cigarettes out the, you know what I'm saying, just being badass little kids, you know what I'm saying? But for sure, by the time I was like, shit, I had tattoos and shit by the time I was 12 already, you know? So
really?
We was just, yeah, probably by the time I was 13, we was already selling heroin and meth and fucking just being bad kids, I guess, you know? And in the part of LA I grew up in, heroin and meth is like a real bad problem. You know what I'm saying? Like all my childhood friends and shit died on heroin or a fentanyl. Back then, you know what I'm saying, it was, you know, the fentanyl shit was an accident. Nowadays, people buying fentanyl on purpose.
Yeah.
That's what they want now, you know what I'm saying? But back then, it was an accident with some overdose, you know? But yeah, definitely by like 12, 13, I was already all the way into the streets and, you know, like not going to school anymore and, you know, just being a bad kid, like I said.
What was it like for you at home? Did you have both parents?
Yeah, so both of my parents are in the music world. My dad is a producer and play guitar, and my mother is a business manager. But you know, in the music game, the money fucked up unless you the one, you know what I'm saying? Like, but
Right.
if you playing behind the scenes, kind of like my parents have, like we grew up in a small apartment in North Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? I grew up sleeping on the floor. I slept in the bed with my parents till I was like 7, and realized like all my friends at school have their own room and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? My parents was like, all right, we finna put you in the living room then. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like my parents was in the music industry, but I don't want that to like, you know what I'm saying? Like make people, oh yeah, he was silver spoon. Like hell no, we grew up with nothing. You know what I'm
Right. I
saying?
mean,
But,
just because you're in the industry doesn't
yeah.
mean you're the most
But a lot of
successful
people would hear
person
that
in
and be
it.
like, oh yeah, his dad a producer, his
Right.
mama manager, he grew up rich. Like that wasn't the situation. But I grew up in a music family though, so the music shit really in my
You
blood.
just
for
you
sure.
had a positive influence in that sense.
My parents are amazing people. I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm old school. You know what I'm saying? We from a different. My parents 70. You know what I'm saying? I'm 28. So I had older parents that raised me, and I feel like in life that matters a lot. You know, like when you have young parents or maybe just one parent, like there's only so much life that they can transfer to you as a kid, and so much information and knowledge that they can give you when you're a kid. So I was lucky to have two parents with their head on their shoulders and good people. You know what I'm saying? So I was lucky in that way.
Now, did they ever try to intervene when it came to you getting into the streets?
Man, I got sent away to Utah for 2 years to one of them bad kid programs.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah. So hell yeah, they did everything. I was medication.
Oh, so
all
this
the-
was something that they sent you to.
I mean, the school district, I had been kicked out of fucking 8 middle schools. So by the time I hit 8th grade, I never went to a public high school because I got kicked out of LAUSD, which is the Los Angeles School District or whatever. So the school district told my parents, they're like, hey, like, we can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't keep him safe. We can't control, like, you know what I'm saying? We think that he need to go to one of them, what they call it, residential treatment programs. You know what I'm saying? So basically like a juvie, but they can't put you in juvie because there was no crime committed.
Right.
So they can't lock the door, but they can put you in the middle of nowhere. And if you try to run, they'll tackle you. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and there's
saying? But
nowhere to
they
go.
can't lock. You get what I'm saying? They
Because I
can't-
think they had it in the programs. It was PAR or something. It was like it was a physical way that they were allowed to restrain you and basically
Yeah.
slam the shit out of you.
Yeah,
But that's all they could do to
restrain
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't hit you or nothing, but they could like put you in a little choke and slam the shit out of you.
Yeah,
But they
if
couldn't
you,
do
if you
nothing
trying to
with
hurt
you.
yourself or somebody else, or try to AWOL as they called it, try to run, they'll be on that. Yeah,
So
for
how
sure.
how did that program go for you? Were you able to successfully push through it? Did it make you better in any sense, or were you just like fuck this?
To be honest with you, like at the time, it was the worst shit ever. You know, like you locked up. No, obviously, you ain't got no phone. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You ain't with your family. But so at first, it was terrible. But after a while, when you really start programming, you kind of get a little. You know what I'm saying? You get used to it and it start becoming normal. But I felt like I was like one of the better kids there. Like I had tattoos and like I like to do drugs and acid and smoke weed too young and run away. But like the other kids in there, you know what I'm saying, was either like severely mentally ill, you know what I'm saying, or like had like autism or some type of other like, or they was just full out like face tatted little kids, you know what I'm saying, like just bad gang members. So I was bad, but I felt like I was out of place there a little bit because yeah, like I said, they was either like handicapped, mentally handicapped, or they was like been molested as a kid or like
Real problem child.
like you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean shit, I needed it too because there was no discipline in me because I was gone. I would run away for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, made the best out of it. You know what I'm saying? And when I got out, I felt like I had my head on my shoulders more. I wasn't like trying to be violent. Wasn't trying to sell heroin anymore or like go. You know what I'm saying? I was just like. I was 16 by the time I got out. I was like 13 or 14 when I went. I got out 16 and I was just a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Not as wild as when I was real young. So
Now, were you only selling these drugs or were you doing them as well?
never did heroin, meth, crack, none of that in my life, but we were selling this shit for sure. Man, one of the worst. So this old lady, right? We used to have this trap house in Chatsworth in the Valley, right? And it was real nasty. Like everybody in that bitch was shooting up heroin and meth and shit. And the first time I ever sold it was black tar heroin. And it was an old lady. I was like 12, maybe even 11. And she was like 50 something, you know what I'm saying? And she had bought the heroin, right? She had bought a sack of heroin and a sack of meth, probably like $20 and $20 or some shit. And she stuck the needle in her arm, sucked out blood like instead of, you know what I'm saying? She put the needle in her arm, sucked the needle full of blood, unscrewed that bitch, and dumped the motherfucking, crushed up the meth and dumped the shit in the blood, screwed the needle back on, shook it up, and shot it back into her arm. And she was like, I gotta hurry up before it coagulates. And that was the first time I ever sold any type of hard drug to anyone. And I was like, whoa. I was like, this bitch, like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, move around now. You good? All right.
Yeah.
Get up out of here.
Damn.
That shit was like unbelievable for me to see at a young age like that. But like I said, like in the valley where I grew up at, like it's a real problem. Like people living in tents in the alleys and under the bridges. And that's what I like for some reason. Who knows why? Looking back on it, you know, thank God I turned out okay. But that was what I wanted to like. I wanted to hang out under the bridge. All my homies and shit, like we was like scrubs. You know what I'm saying? Like we never wanted like no money. We never wanted like that wasn't something that developed in my brain until later in life. A lot of people in LA, they're like, I gangbang. Like what the fuck I need money for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was just a different, possibly a different era too. I don't think it's like that anymore. I think a lot of these young boys is gangbanging in LA and shit. Now everyone want to get money. Everyone want a Louis belt and to be fly now. But when I was growing up, when it was Dickies and 501s and we were scrubs, we didn't care about that. Like,
y'all rocking Dickies out there too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That was you know what I'm saying? Either Dickie shorts with the high socks and the 501s and pro clubs. But it just wasn't about being fresh or having money or none of that. It was really just like, you know, I just wanted to be outside and
you kind of just accepted your environment for what it was.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I loved it though. It wasn't until way later that I even thought about trying to do anything or but I was rapping that whole entire time though, since like 11, 12 years old, you know. I had been making music and recording and so through it all, the music was the only thing that stuck, you know?
I feel like for me, I enjoyed the roughness of the lifestyle because before all the gang shit, I was big into graffiti. And like all the big graffiti spots was where all the homeless people were at.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like under bridges or fucked up buildings. And this is where you could go and you could paint and you don't have to worry about anyone coming. Somebody might wake up.
That's my life.
But you know what I mean? Like that, we found comfort in going to abandoned places, exploring abandoned shit, fucking finding shit, and then tagging and painting and you know what I mean? And we would be around all of it. We would see all the craziness, but we kind of liked it like that because it was like our own world where there were no rules.
Yeah.
And we could just do whatever the fuck we wanted to do.
Break shit, spray paint shit, smoke
fuck
weed
shit up,
there,
hang out.
take bitches down there, do everything.
All type of shit.
We was kicking it. And the main thing, we would go down there looking for the homeless people. We would look for the bums and give them a $5 bill and be like, yo, get us a couple Four Locos out the store and keep the change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, hook it up.
We used to ride around all day looking for the homeless people to buy us some blunts or something.
Nah, definitely. They'd be pulling favors if you treat them right.
For sure.
Now, what was your first time getting locked up in LA? Did you ever do any juvenile time?
Not any serious time, like went to jail, like went to just for like a few hours and shit. Like one time motherfucker got caught with a lighter gang.
And they banged you over a lighter?
What? Yeah, bro. Hell yeah, all types of, I mean, you know, 2012, 2010, like smoking weed and shit was bad in LA still.
Yeah.
It wasn't like if you was a kid and got caught with some weed or some cigarettes or a lighter, I hit the security guard in my 6th grade school with a skateboard and I got arrested for that though. But I was so young, I was literally like 11 or something, so they ended up not pressing no charges.
They let it
and shit.
slide.
They just kicked me out to school and shit. But every other time I ever like actually like got taken to the station or some shit like that, it was like over like cigarettes, a weed, a lighter, like some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Where the police was like, oh, we're gonna try to change this kid's life, take him to jail one time, and hopefully he don't smoke.
Yeah, like some scared straight shit.
Yeah, like some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But that was the first time. Yeah, real young for sure. Them police, I feel like police don't be tripping on kids like that used to. Like we used to get pulled over every single day. I don't see that no more.
Yeah.
Like every day we would get pulled over. They'd be looking for just teenagers riding around or walking around.
Anything.
Yeah.
Now, what was your first time like going into the county jail?
Pistol case in LA.
Really?
Got caught with the pistol and shit.
How old?
This was like 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. 2-3 years ago. Yeah.
What's going through your mind when they actually like take me through how they found you with the gun?
I got the Hellcat truck, the 4Gs on it, pulling up to my show, Pico in La Brea, which is like kind of the hood over there. Tinted out windows, you know what I'm saying? So they just pulled me over and motherfucker been pulled over a bunch of times and they don't, you know what I'm saying, trip like that. But for some reason this time when they came to the car, they was gun out, windows down, open the car, put your hands out, open the car door from the outside. You know what I'm saying? They was on it from the rip. But how you be doing all your paperwork and shit, I always in my head, I was like, man, Jake need to find that video of me getting arrested so these motherfuckers know what to do when they get arrested with the fire with their homies in the car. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers like, hey now, you know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing else to say other say nothing or shit, this my car. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no other question about it. Everything in the car mine. Shit. All my homies, like, take them out of handcuffs. Let them go. You know what I'm saying?
So you basically took responsibility for the gun.
There's no other option. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
real,
My car, my gun, everything shit.
That's how it's supposed to go. Because, I mean, you have motherfuckers that don't say nothing, but then everybody goes to jail.
Yeah, which is whack. And I was with my engineer and, like, my cameraman and my homies that not in the streets like that. You know what I'm saying? They really just my childhood friends that's, like, there to support me. So last thing I'm going to do is make I'm just playing, but put anyone in a position to tell on me when I'm trying to be quiet. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather just...
Not to be too problematic, but have you seen the video of Lil Meech that recently just came out, the body cam?
Yeah, man. I don't I don't have too much to say on nobody else. The rules is lawyer. That's the only word that you're supposed to say in a situation like that, or not say nothing at all. But hey now. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody different.
Everybody chooses their path in life.
Yep. And I don't know the situation or who, what, you know what I'm saying? I know I forget dude's name, but I know there's like motherfuckers and artists that done paid they peoples to be around to take the fall for him. You know what I'm saying? So when they are like, hey, it ain't mine, from the outside it looked like, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, I don't know everyone's situation or who's around for what reason or if there's a fall guy. So you get what I'm saying? So I feel like all that shit is tricky and all that, but everyone knows the rules though. You know what I'm saying? Just say nothing.
From my understanding that they found a legal gun and it was his security's gun. And he was like, yeah, you got that, right? They were like, yeah, but the police are telling Meech the gun ain't illegal. And then Meech is like, well, what about the other stuff? Because I guess there was drugs. It's like, what, you ain't got to know all that, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I don't know the situation like that, but that's a little, you know what I'm saying? All I know is what I'm supposed to say.
Exactly.
Which is nothing. You know
now, you take responsibility for the gun. I'm sure you get cuffed up. Where do you go from there?
To the Pico division police station for a couple hours, and then they took me to MCJ, Men's Central Jail. But you know me, I'm bonded out instantly. Before the sun came up, I was out. So, motherfucker really got lucky. I done been lucky twice where they had, you know what judicial diversion is? So judicial diversion, you know what a diversion is? It's like, we're going to, instead of getting all the way here, we're going to do a diversion. Before you get there, we're going to change directions. So judicial diversion is when they say, hey, you a first-time offender, we're going to give you the opportunity to do some classes, some gun classes. They found weed in the car, so they gave me 20-something Narcotic Anonymous classes I had to do, and some community service. They're like, if you do all this before the next court date, we're going to make it so where you never have to say innocent or guilty, and we're going to dismiss the case. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that was I got blessed in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And is that how it played out? You were able to get the case dismissed?
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. And on just a side note, like I had paid all these racks, 20 bands or some shit like that for a lawyer. And when I finally went into the court, when I finally went into the courtroom, I was the only one there with a lawyer. Everyone I was dressed nice. I came in there trying to impress, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everyone in there a gang member in Dickies pants with a public defender. Every one of them it must have been a room full of nothing but gun cases because everybody in there had the same charge as me and everybody in there got case dismissed and I was the only one paid for a lawyer.
So you were like, I didn't even have to do this.
Nobody else had to do no classes.
Right.
All 20 other people got case dismissed the first time. When they told me judicial diversion, everybody else in that bitch didn't have to do no classes. They got their shit dismissed first. And I'm like, how the hell I pay for a lawyer?
Yeah, I didn't get nothing special.
I'm the only one in here that, you know what I'm saying?
I need a refund.
That made me be like, man, at a certain point, I think there's so many gun cases in LA. They're like, unless you're a felon with the gun or you're on parole or probation or whatever it may be, if you can't have that, then they're going to trip on it. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a first-time offender or like you know what I'm saying, you don't have no serious charges or on probation, then I feel like they dropping them shits. I seen it with my own eyes. dropped 20 cases within 1 hour.
So let me ask you, right? Being that you were able to get that case dismissed, are you a felon or not?
No. I never pleaded innocent or guilty, so there
Right.
was no charge. But every time I've got pulled over for my tent or something, the first thing they say, they're like, "What's up with that gun charge?" Or like,
They
"Any
see
gun?"
the previous
Yeah,
arrest.
so I'm
It just
like,
doesn't
shit.
carry a conviction.
Yeah, I'm like, so how much was it dismissed though?
That's
You get what
dope.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's irritating though that it's dismissed, but the first thing they see, they come to the car like every time now. You know, so
Now this might be an obvious question or have an obvious answer, but what was the reason that you felt you needed to tote a gun in the first place?
shit, I survived 26 shots, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'd have been targeted in LA and, you know, was in a coma for 4 or 5 days and, you know, I done been through it.
Let's break this story down. So
Yeah.
26 shots in one incident?
Yep.
How did this happen?
Pulled into my driveway and motherfuckers was waiting around the corner masked up and I'm riding with my fire in my lap like normal. So I'm getting out of my car and as I'm getting out of the car, you know, I got the fire in my hand going to put it in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm riding with it in my lap. So it's in my lap. I'm getting out the car. And as I'm getting out the car, it's obviously in my hand, right? When I look, they're already drawn down on me. Boom. They already drawn down on me this far away. They see the fire in my hand, just start shooting. They didn't even get to say watch or whatever whatever reason they was there. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even get to that point. They seen the pistol in my hand, just started shooting. And then at the same time as that happening, my engineer was in the shotgun seat of the car. He opening the car door on the other side of the car. So they shot him 10 times. You know what I'm saying? It just spooked them. You could tell that they wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call it, you know, they wasn't professionals at it, you know, because it was definitely botched immediately, you know.
Yeah, because a robbery ain't supposed to go like that.
Hell no.
But I mean, it seems like every robbery in LA goes like that. Pop Smoke, PNB Rock.
Yeah.
You luckily,
And they was kids too. I seen it, you know, like even though they was masked up and all that, like I
you
could
could
still
tell they were
see,
young.
I could still tell that they was 18, 19, some shit like that, you know.
When you hear these shots going off, are you instantly feeling it, or is it more so like a movie and you're just
So the first shot that went off hit me in my stomach. So they still shooting. The first thing, my first instinct, natural instinct was to dive under the hood of the car because I was thinking, don't get shot in the head. That was the only thing going through my mind was don't get shot in the head. So I dove under the hood of the car. As I was under, they was trying to yank my chain and shit, but I was laying on it, right? So I thought they had got me from my chain. I'll get back to that later when a couple months later when I got to pick up all the evidence and pick up all my wallet and phone, everything from the crime scene. My chain was in that bitch, blood covered in blood. But for the first 2 months, I thought they had got it. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't. But all I was thinking was just don't get shot in the head. So they run off, right? Get in the car, peel off, right? I stand up, run into the middle of the street. I called 911 myself, bro. I called the ambulance myself, and I told them, yo, I'm about to die. You know what I'm saying? They're like, where are you at? But by the time I could even tell them where I was, there was police there. Like they must have heard the shit. Like
Right.
the police was so close. They was there in 30 seconds. So this shit all on the news too. CNN, ABC, Fox. There was people there with cameras filming the shit from the news station within 2 minutes. Like obviously they be sitting on their phone or whatever, just waiting for a crime to happen so they could be the journalists or whatever. But I couldn't tell where I was shot at. Like it just like I couldn't. All I knew is that I could feel warm blood like all over my body. Like I knew I was hit. I knew I got hit in the stomach, but I didn't know where else I was hit. So the cops telling me like, you got to tell me or I'm gonna cut you naked. I was like, bro, I don't feel nothing, bro. I just feel like a heavy weight being pushed on me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like. It felt warm and like just like a lot of weight being pushed on me. So they had to cut me naked in the middle of the street and all that. My boy, they got hit with me, my engineer and shit. You know what I'm saying? Same situation. He yelling over there. And the crate, No Jumper had leaked the audio from my Ring camera. Motherfucker, that shit is still to this day when I hear that shit, I'm like, damn, Wakko, I don't want to die. Like, come here, bro. Like the whole shit, it was real deal, bro. That shit was a real horror movie. So when people be talking about all that shit, I'm like, shit, if you ain't been through that shit, gang, then you know what I'm saying? Like I done lived a horror movie. I done had motherfuckers with masks on try to kill me in the middle of the night. So I done, you know what I'm saying? But the ambulance was there quick, right? So the police stuffing my back with gauze and shit trying to get me to bleed out. I pass out in the ambulance, right? So I wake up, I'm like, last night crazy. They're like, you've been in a coma for 5 days. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
I ended up the bullet went through my intestines. I had 2 collapsed lungs, a lacerated liver, and I guess when the bullet went in my stomach, it like arched up and it came out my back, and that's when it had punctured my lung. When it had came out my back and shit. Um, as well as a bunch of other, random fucking just shit all over, just random like my ear. My ear was I had got grazed in the ear. My shit was fat. I'm talking about the first few months. That was probably the one thing that I was like not embarrassed, but like self-conscious because my ear had looked like fucking like a freak show. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah.
these motherfuckers done fucked up my, you know what I'm saying, damn near my face and shit. But after a while, the swelling done went down and it's not bad and shit. But and my boy that was with me, he was in a wheelchair for some months, broken ribs, got shot in the kneecap, his pelvis. They took out his spleen. Like he had it a little bit worse than me. But he fine now though, like 100%. Like we're talking about by the grace of God, like we had serious angels, bro. Like real deal. Like people don't survive. I got hit 6 times and he got hit 10 times. And they missed 10 times. It was 26 cases, 26 shell cases. People don't survive shit like that, gang. People, rest in peace, Draco the Ruler. He got stabbed once.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And passed away. Like I think about that all the time. I have that guilt a lot where I'm like, damn, bro, like people like, and then when I was in the hospital, PNB Rock got shot. You know what I'm saying?
While you were in the
While
hospital.
I was in the hospital, while I was being interviewed by MSNBC and CNN, every news channel, if you go back and watch all the clips, they're like, this is a chance that PNB Rock no longer has, is to be able to continue to make music and speak on a, so like every interview they was bringing him up because that had just happened 4 or 5 days after I got shot.
Did you watch the video of what happened?
Yeah, that's just gnarly, man.
Yeah.
Just gnarly. This video's of what happened to me. Shit. One of the reporters, or the news reporters that was filming it, I'm butt naked, blood everywhere. They put me in the back of the ambulance and shit. That shit all on camera, on the news, blurred out. You know what I'm saying? There was a million angles. They blew my house address up. I had to move, all types of shit, But like I said, by the grace of God, you know what I'm saying? That shit is God is a real thing. If you don't believe in God, if you go through something like that, you will. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, I spoke to God when I was in that coma, bro. I had a full-on choice. I had an epiphany first and foremost, obviously, like anybody would in a near-death experience. But I had a choice. I was given a choice to live or die. You know what I'm saying? And it was it was a happy thing if I chose death. It wasn't like before you die, like we're all scared to die. We all miss our family and we don't want to lose nobody or hurt nobody by going away. But after that fact, when I was in that near-death experience, it was like heaven, bro. It was warm and happy and inviting. And it was not like do you want to die or do you want to live? And one live was happy and die was scary. No, it was like, you know what I'm saying, damn near a better choice to die. You get what I'm saying? Like in that coma, in that moment when whatever it was that was giving me, you know what I'm saying, whatever anyone want to call it, God or their higher power, like I said, the opportunity, the choice to die, that was not a scary thing. It was like you want to come home, you know what I'm saying, and be, you know what I'm saying, and be in heaven or whatever that means to anybody, or do you want to, you know what I'm saying? And when I chose that, no, I'm not ready, I want to live there, he was like, what's your purpose? You know what I'm saying? The only thing that I could remember was like, you have to choose a reason. You can't just say, okay, I want to live. And you know what I'm saying? And he was like, if you focus on your music and you focus on whatever it is that you want in life, that you will have it. And I'll bless you with that now. And you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So the opportunity to be successful, I feel like was given to me right then and there. I just had to take it serious, but I knew right then and there. I was like, oh yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? Like I know this shit's real and I don't even need to, I'm not a believer anymore. I'm a knower. You feel me? Like I know how this shit go already. I already seen it. And I know the power of positive thinking and manifestation. And I'm really into all that. Ever since that moment, ever since that near-death experience I had, it was just like, I know for a fact I can have anything that I put my mind to. Like I don't care what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm a real manifester, a real believer, a real mover and shaker. And if you put all those things together, you get what I'm saying? It's pretty much nothing that you can't accomplish as long as it's realistic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But um, I say all this to say that I take the positive out of every situation. You get what I'm saying? Because I could have just been there sick and mad and hated life, and I have a hard time breathing on a day-to-day basis, and you know what I'm saying? I'm walking around with collapsed lungs and shit, still smoking weed and just trying to cope with it. But at the same time, though, we took everything and made a positive out of it. This shit went so viral by the time I fucking had one of my homies bring a new phone and log into Instagram in the hospital, fresh out the coma. That shit viral. 50 Cent speaking on it. Everybody in the whole game saw that shit. You know what I'm saying? So we used it as a, hey, what else are we gonna do? We gonna be fucked up and mad about it, or we gonna use it? You know what I'm saying? We gonna use it to our advantage. These news stations want to interview us. No Jumper want to interview us. These rappers want to do features with us, and bigger artists fucking with me, and we just made something positive out of a horrific situation. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's the best way to do it. You know, I kind of did that with prison. I took my worst moment and made it my best, because without me going to prison, I wouldn't have learned the things that I needed,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have had the life experiences that got me to this
Yeah.
table. But what you just said is very fucking powerful. I hope you know that.
Yeah, no.
Like,
for
I
sure.
had chills while you speaking on it. And, you know, for those that don't know, today is Sunday. I still got my church clothes on. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I don't
Yeah.
even got the pendant on because I was literally at church this morning. And to hear that, I've had life experiences where the way things played out so perfectly, I
The universe, you can't-
couldn't think it was anything else but God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to hear what you went through, I love the fact that you found yourself in a higher state of thinking than before that happened, because a lot of people will go through traumatic things, and like you said, they'll get angry, they'll get mad about it, and they'll go even further down a path that's going to lead them nowhere but prison to death. Versus you, it was the complete opposite. You were enlightened by the tragedy that took place. How do you
Yeah.
deal with the survivor's guilt, knowing that so many people have been in your position and didn't make it through?
I reminded myself how blessed I am. You
Mm.
get what I'm saying? Because I can't wallow in that shit or be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my main thing was my engineer that was really fucking with me, because he was in a wheelchair and all that. Like, you know, he was just coming to the crib with me. You know what I'm saying? We was just finna watch TV, pass out on the couch, smoking weed and shit. This motherfucker ended up getting shot 10 times just kicking it with me. You know what I'm saying? So that was my main, like, you know, I'm a real empathetic person. You know, I really feel for people, and, you know, like, the kid ain't deserve that shit. You know what I'm saying? So that was the main, you know, shit that I felt guilty about. But as far as everyone else that's been through that shit, yeah, I just remind myself how blessed I am, bro. You know, that's how I cope with that, because I know for a fact that there was some serious angels that night. My peoples that's no longer with us was right there with the sword of God right there, dog, for real. Really fighting for me, bro, you know? Every bullet I got hit with went all the way through me. You get what I'm saying? And even hit major arteries and everything, and I was out of the hospital in 11 days,
Mm.
you know? 11 days. But then 2 weeks later, my lung had recollapsed, and I had to go back to the hospital for another couple weeks and shit. And that shit was that's the worst shit ever. Cause getting shot, I don't remember. I had 5 or 6 major surgeries for all my arteries and my lungs, and was walking around for the next 3 weeks with tubes coming out and machines attached, stitched in my fucking stomach. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a real blessing to be able to make it through that. No broken bones, you know, like, no, like, other than my lung, nobody would ever really know
Right.
that I went through some shit like that. I'm not limping. I didn't get hit somewhere in the
Yeah,
head.
you
where
can't
I'm-
tell by the way you walk, talk, nothing.
Nothing. You
You
know what
would
I'm
never
saying?
know
So
unless you told somebody.
God or the universe, whatever y'all want to call it. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? So, yeah, seriously blessed, bro.
Let me ask, because I read in an article, I think it was the LA Times, maybe the New York Times, I'm not sure which one. They were saying that they believed it was because you were flossing jewelry that you became a target. And I see
sure.
you're iced out today.
For sure.
Do you think that's what put the target on you, was social media and flexing? And
It was me being loose, inviting people to barbecue at the crib and name my peoples, but they bring people that ain't that, you know what I'm saying, don't got my
Right.
best interest in mind and all shit like that. Like, I think that's the real reason, you know what I'm saying? At first, when I was in a coma, the news had made up the story that I was followed home from the studio. You get what I'm saying? So they done kicked in all of our studio doors. Me and Desto Dub was sharing a building at the time, and they kicked all his rooms in, and obviously ain't find nothing. They ain't follow me from the studio. They was waiting around the corner from my crib already. They already knew where I lived at. You get what I'm saying? So, but I was in a coma. Home. Yeah, you get what I'm saying? But the police didn't. Obviously, I was in a coma. There was nothing, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't even ask a motherfucker what happened. Not that they would have got no information, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that was always the second I woke up from the coma, the police was like, oh shit, we gotta go in there. And they start asking me all these questions. I'm loopy as hell. I'm like, I ain't no rat. I don't know nothing. I don't know who shot me. What the hell is you talking about? I'm loopy in there. The police, the detectives looking at each other like, oh my God.
Yeah.
They're like, let's get out of here. I'm like, they're like, yeah, the police wanted to come in there because they didn't know if he was gonna die. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to interview a victim and see if they could get some information in case the motherfucker died. You know what I'm saying? The second I woke up, they was in that bitch. I was like, I don't know nothing. There was like, that was your all your shits in the crib. I was like, y'all kicked my crib in? They're like, we can't charge you with anything in the crib, bro. We was only looking to see if it was a drug deal gone bad, because they're like, if it was gang activity or a drug deal gone bad, then we as detectives don't have to. They basically said that they work as a detective gets taken off their table if it's gang activity or a drug deal gone bad. You get what I'm saying? They're like, so they was trying to figure out, when they kicked my door in, they was trying to figure out like, yo, do we have to take this case on or not? You know what I'm saying? Was he really, like, was it an attempted robbery that went bad? Okay, then we have to pursue that. But if it was a drug deal gone bad or some gang shit, then we don't even have to look into it.
Any of the jewelry that you're wearing now?
No.
Were you wearing that? No?
No.
You still have it?
Yep, absolutely. My Wakko piece, which is what they wanted, got hit with a bullet. And I didn't know that until I got the shit back, and the shit was fucking, and it was like a 300 something gram piece. Like, the shit was solid as it come, and a thicky one. So that shit was like mauled, and I ended up spending a bag to get that shit made back together, and left the piece where the bullet looked like it like damn near melted part of the fucking chain. Like, I had them leave that shit just because I feel like it was, you know, like legendary.
That's
you know,
tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
do you ever still wear it, or do you more so just keep that aside?
I keep it aside. I would wear it though. Ain't nothing, you know what I'm saying? I would, but I got new pieces and shit that I just enjoy. I really like jewelry and shit, but I move with security now. We move more militant. No one come to the crib. We in a gated community up in the hills. Like, you know what I'm saying? We in a different space now. What it was is that I was living in the hood where I grew up at, and it was fine when I moved in there, but 2 years of me being there, in that 2 years, I had grown up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? I really glowed up, and I was still living there. You get what I'm saying? So at a certain point, but I was 23, 24, some shit like that. Just young and not thinking like, oh, yo, I need to move. It's time to move up out of here. I'm like in my comfort zone.
Right.
At a certain point, when you grow, we all learn everything in life in real time. Unless you blessed, like super blessed to have someone be able to really, you know, like show you the way, and you not hard-headed enough to listen to him. You blessed if you have that situation, you know, but in my situation, I wasn't. I was just being loose, you know?
Definitely.
Ain't no reason to go to the gas station with your chain on, you know? Because what's normal to us is not normal to nobody else.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is when I first got my chain and all that shit. Bro, I remember when I first got a chain, I had a 4mm gold Cuban. Shit looked like dental floss.
Yeah.
And I put that shit on, and I'm in the hood, and I'm thinking everybody can see it, and you know what I'm saying? And then you get so used to it, like I wear this like it's nothing.
Yeah,
but then I have to remind myself this is something that some people will never experience.
Man, 3 grown men risked their lives to get my chain. You get what I'm saying? All 3 grown ass men,
and almost took 2 lives in the process
over a chain that they ain't even get.
That's
you know
crazy.
What I'm saying? And the worst part is a lot of these people should be fake. Motherfuckers be risking their lives and killing people and all types of shit. Probably go pawn a fucking moissanite chain, gang.
And the same ones wearing that chain are risking their life wearing it, knowing they could get robbed and killed for a chain that ain't worth shit. So after you get shot, what effect did this have on your career? I know that you're doing mad interviews. Obviously, you're getting more attention. What were you able to do to propel yourself even further in the direction that you wanted to go?
I was already a up and coming artist, to where I had already had like little buzzes, and especially in the weed world with my Airheads brand and all types of different lanes. So a lot of artists get shot, but it just goes in the news as rapper shot. It wasn't artist Wakko the Kid, Los Angeles rapper Wakko the Kid shot. You get what I'm saying? Like I was already a building artist. So I feel like it projected my career a lot farther than a lot of rappers that weren't as far as me in their career that got shot because their name never gets on national news or nothing like that because they're just a local artist. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely, everybody saw that shit, you know, whether they forget about it or remember it when they see me again, like, oh yeah, I remember that shit. You was in North Hollywood and do. So I done been all around the world and people knew about that shit. That it went so viral. There was kids in Italy sending letters and shit in school. Like the teacher in school had them write letters to me for English class in Italy. They learning how to speak English in Italy, and the teacher like, we want you guys to write good, get better letters to the artist Wakko the Kid. So I'm getting fan mail, all types of shit instantly.
That's dope.
Followers went crazy. I mean, you know, that's what the streets like. That's what entertainment, you know, in the hip hop community, that's what they want to see, you know? They want to see negativity and also overcoming situations like that. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, 50 Cent and shit, you name it, spoke on that shit or retweeted it or DM me or you name it, you know? So it definitely pushed my career no different than, like I said, 50 or Pac or any of these people that survived getting shot. Like it made they shit bigger than life. Like they was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like Superman.
So I ain't Superman, but I'm Superman was looking out for me that day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
now I feel like you have every reason and nobody should be able to question it, but how do you feel about the stigma that comes with rappers having security?
shit. Is you stupid? I don't think there's a stigma. I think every artist I've ever been around, any real artist I've ever been around has a huge security team with them. Ain't nobody playing.
It seems like it's more so the internet that
can't even listen
say
to
this
the
and
internet.
that, but then when you get around the actual artists, you see they got professional fucking security teams.
They gonna be a bunch of street dudes, you know, like I've been around YSL and Grand Hustle and a lot of these labels and artists for a long time. So we can even go back since before I got shot, when I first got signed. But to say all that, like Slime, like Thug, gonna have 5 real security with ARs and they monster size motherfuckers, but he gonna have 30 street dudes with him too.
Yeah.
It's not like he need the security, but he need the security because everyone around this motherfucker felons or a gang member or can't have the fire. You know what I'm saying? But like, shit, if you don't have security, you tripping. Nobody tougher than the program.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you better have security. You riding around, going on tour to all these cities and posting where you gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? Posting where your show is, what club, what time you gonna put. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah, all that stigma shit. People just want to see people die, man, on the internet. They just want to see people die or like just fall off or, you know, like that whole slide for Vaughn shit. Like that's people just like really just weirdos, bro. Real trolls, bro. It's hard to not pay attention to that shit when they saying it about you. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, you can't let that shit, you know, like really affect you. And
they want you to be in a lose-lose situation.
They want you to crash out, man. These people don't give a fuck. They trolling on their phone. They probably don't even really feel that way. If you was in their face talking to them, they wouldn't even feel that way for real.
Nah, that's a fact. For you, what was it like getting signed? And at what point did that happen?
Okay, so when I was 17 years old, I was really into underground hip hop, Tech Nine, Insane Clown Posse, shit like that, right? So they had a show at the House of Blues, a legendary venue right on Sunset Boulevard in LA. I'm just a kid trying to get on rapping. That's what been my dream my whole life. So I'm outside the venue at 2 p.m. by myself. No line outside, nothing. I'm just outside the venue. And it's a Hustle Gang, Grand Hustle tour bus, right? It was on tour with Tech Nine at the time. And dude named Five Mics from Brooklyn, he walked out the tour bus and I didn't know who he was, but he was on the tour bus, big chain, all this shit. I'm like, yo, let's smoke a blunt. He like, shit, for sure. Next thing you know, I'm like, let me rap for you. You know what I'm saying? He like, oh my God, son. He like, yo, word, son, whatever. Spit some shit. So I start rapping. He like, yo, bro. He like, you want to go to Atlanta? He's like, I'll get you a record deal with a B.O.B. and Grand Hustle. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, I ain't never left LA. I was still wearing baggy clothes at this time. You know what I'm saying? So he had taken me to Atlanta next day in a meeting with B.O.B. at Grand Hustle Studio. It's called Defiant Studios. It's no longer there. But if you from Atlanta, it's a legendary studio. At the time, Grand Hustle had a room. Thug had a room with DJ Spins, and so it was Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan in the red room. And then there's another room that everyone drove. Everyone. So I was 17 years old, complete culture shock, coming from the Valley, coming from LA, going to Atlanta and being in a different type of the streets. You get what I'm saying? Like
Right.
the LA shit is different. Like I said earlier, like we didn't give a fuck about money. Like people was like, we gangbanger, like we scrubs, like we don't care about money, like we grimy kids. Like going to Atlanta really is what sparked the entrepreneur in me that made me want to do something, because I got nothing. I'm out there sleeping on the floor in Young Thug's room in his studio. You know what I'm saying? Like we just doing whatever, stinking, no shower, no money for a hotel. We just out there trying to just get the paperwork, sign the shit real quick and hope that, you know what I'm saying? But like it being in that studio, which was like, it was also the trap. It was like a serious, like every street dude in Atlanta came to that studio. It was in East Atlanta. Everybody in the game, Gucci had a room in there at one point, you name it. So this was a spot where in the time of me sleeping on the floors in that studio, sleeping on couches and shit, there was 10 different shootouts that happened in there. 2 different rappers booked 2 different rooms in the same studio to beef it. You know what I'm saying? But I say all that to say, the entrepreneurial shit, people was walking in there, stacks of cash like this, big ass bag of moon rocks, pulling up a Hellcat. Don't nobody got a job. I'm 17 years old. I'm like, never seen cash like that in my life. But
Right.
everyone in the, you know what I'm saying? Not everyone in the A, obviously. Like Atlanta's like a lot, it's poverty, serious poverty. Like, and I always say that the difference between LA, like LA, I always felt like is the ghetto. Like there's places that is like seriously it's the hood, but it's still palm trees and sidewalks and shit. You get what I'm saying? Like you won't necessarily always know you're in the hood in LA, but in Atlanta it's like poverty, bro. It's like damn,
Yeah.
there's people starving out there. Ain't no sidewalks, everything overgrown, everything abandoned. In LA, the real estate worth so much money that there's not many bandos. It's not, you get what I'm saying? Like the
Right.
construction, like you get what I'm saying? You go to a couple places, obviously, but I feel like Atlanta is like poverty in the South. It's a little bit different than the West Coast, where at least we got palm trees and nice weather and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But to see the cats that was coming through the studio at such a young age, it really sparked me to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like I need to get to it. Like this shit crazy out here. It's different. Everyone, I didn't even know what Gucci was going into that meeting to sign that contract. I didn't even know what Louis Vuitton, nothing. I had to, like, all that shit was brand new to me. So I had to learn everything on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like right then in real time. And then, you know, my manager at the time was the dude 5 Mics. He was a big homie from Brooklyn. And you know, he was running around with people that was heavy in the streets. And I went to New York with him, and he from Coney Island, and I stayed in the projects with him, and we was in
Coney Island's rough.
No, that shit
I've been in the
treacherous,
projects
man.
over there too.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
shit's fucked up. We had to like physically shut the elevator door in the projects.
Needles on the floor, piss on the floor.
Big ass roaches and fucking
So-
Coney Island rough.
I was running around with him the whole time, and we stayed in the Baisley projects in South Jamaica. That's where his family from and shit like that. So like at the same time as me having a culture shock, because like I had been in the streets, but running around in LA. Keep in mind, I'm not a gang member. You know what I'm saying? We was
Right.
just running around being bad, selling dope, breaking windows, just fighting and doing dumb shit. But it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? It was different than going to Atlanta and really seeing like how it is in the South. You know what I'm saying? It's just a
Yeah.
little bit different. You
I
know
mean,
what I'm
that's
saying?
how it was when I first came down here in Florida. You know, we still got the palm trees and the nice weather.
Yeah,
You go to certain areas though, it looks like a third world country.
yeah.
Like we're talking
for
about
sure.
the abandoned houses are like
Look like you in Haiti or
torn
something.
apart. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And then the guns down here,
Everyone got them.
and they're big. It
In
ain't
Atlanta,
just
too.
little shit. It's big
Yeah.
shit, you know? So you could go down the wrong street and you'll feel like you're in another fucking place.
Yeah,
And
no,
it's
for sure.
different.
Because LA extra dangerous because of the gang banging, you know? But Atlanta it's different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got guns. Everyone got guns in LA too, but it's not as accessible as the South, you know.
Right.
But to wrap your original question up, signing over there was like the best thing I feel like I could have ever done, because it just opened my eyes to a whole other culture. It really entrenched me into the black culture immediately. You know what I'm saying? And really like had to like, ain't no pen, ain't no writing. You in the studio with T.I. and motherfuckers tell you to get in the booth. You better not pull out no pen and pad. You better walk right in there and start rapping. You get what I'm
Get
saying?
right to it.
So that's when I learned how to punch in and do the whole different recording process. And it was just honestly a blessing for me to be able to soak up game and soak up culture from like a lot of legends as a little kid. You know what I'm saying? Really been around all these shit, not too many rappers or legends that you can name that I don't have a relationship with or been around, and you know, really been able to soak up game from. So that was really a pivotal moment with my music. You know, I had never recorded in a booth before. I had been rapping since I was 11, 12 years old and shit in the closet with the homies and working on Pro Tools and Logic. Like, I'm really a nerd when it comes to the recording shit too. Thank God, like I said, my pops was a producer. So as a little kid, he had me just learning how to play with the computer and record and do little shit. So, but by the time I went to Atlanta, it was like nice studios. It's the music vibe is different in Atlanta.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody out there is fire with the music. All the producers, 16-year-olds out there producing for Future, and you know what I'm saying? It's a different vibe. So it was just an eye opener. Like I said, a culture shock as a white boy coming from LA, going to Atlanta, straight to East Atlanta, and just seeing all this money, seeing all these rappers pull up Rolls Royces, and I'm getting in the club with them underage, and just being able to soak all that. It really made me who I am today. A lot of people, like, when they hear me talk, or I don't give off the LA vibe all the way, because I feel like Atlanta, I'm like LATL. That's what I call it. You know what I'm saying? That's like my vibe. You know, Atlanta's my second home, but I'm born and raised in LA, always lived in LA. But I became a man in the process of me going back and forth to Atlanta. You know, from 18 to 23, 24, I was 2 months there, go home for a month in Atlanta, go home for a month, you know?
And I think it's dope that you were able to go from LA to basically the mecca of hip hop in the South, which is Atlanta.
Absolutely.
And then you've even been up to New York. So you've been in the major cities where hip hop has thrived throughout the country. How does it feel being that you're white and you're fully embraced by the culture?
Shit, it feel good, but at the same time, it's like this is me. You get what I'm saying? There's nothing fabricated about me. I don't know how to be anything else other than myself. So yes, it feels good, and I don't want to like just be like I deserve it, but I do feel like it, because it's just me. It's not like I'm like was trying to earn some shit or trying to be accepted or nothing. I'm just being myself, and I'm a genuine person, and people feel that, I think, right away. So it's like I've been able to build trusting relationships and been able to move around, and you know, like I done been in every hood in America. Between the tours and between me just grinding, and I'm 28 now. It's been a nonstop grind ever since I was 17 with this music shit going to Atlanta. We done touched every hood in America. So like, hell yeah, it feel good. It definitely feel good to feel accepted by anybody, anywhere you go, you know?
Definitely.
But definitely in the hip hop community, like I've never got no hatred for being a white boy ever. I've never felt it like from the music shit or Instagram or none of that ever, because I feel like I'm genuine, bro. I'm not putting on. I'm not trying to be somebody. I'm not. So it's easy. I feel like it's easy to be accepted when you're that way.
When they can pick up on the authenticity.
Yeah, like there's no reason for no one to, you know, there's haters everywhere, you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel the hate, you know? I feel nothing but love everywhere I go, and I'm tapped in with real ones all over the country, and you know, I feel like I'm good, you know? Nobody good nowhere. You get what I'm saying? Don't be stupid nowhere. But I feel like God got me, and I feel like the relationships that I have with a lot of real ones and OGs across the whole country, that I've been blessed, you know what I'm saying, to be able to move around and be accepted. So yeah, absolutely.
And you got your own brand too, right?
Yeah, Airheads, absolutely.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So in 2020, during the pandemic, you know, like I said, I'm from California, so you know the weed world was really booming during the pandemic, and everybody had candy weed brand names. Runts, Skittles, Gushers, all these. You get what I'm saying? And I was like, Airheads. That sound like you an airhead. It sound like you high already. So
Yeah.
at first it was really just like for fun. Like I wasn't taking it serious. And then next thing you know, this shit rolling and all the rappers want it and reaching out for it. You get what I'm saying? So next thing you know, I'm like, we gotta take this shit serious. This got a real fan base behind it. And it just really took off even farther than the music. You know what I'm saying? So now it's to the point where we have so many different moving components when it comes to Wakko. We're in the process of tying everything together now. You get what I'm saying? So in the meantime of all this happening, I grew up listening to Insane Clown Posse. That was some of my favorite rappers when I was a kid. I told you I was standing outside their show when I had met dude who got me signed in the first place.
Yeah.
Fast forward, I'm their artist now. You know what I'm saying? We done built a relationship. I came from being their fan to being on tour with them, doing music with them and all this stuff. So we have as it's called, the Juggalo world. You know what I'm saying? If they ain't familiar with the Hatchet Man, you know what I'm saying? I got this whole world, and that's the culture that I really grew up in. When people ask me, like, who was you affiliated with as a kid? I grew up with Juggalos. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know your history on that, go ahead and do your research on that. But that's who I was affiliated with when I was a kid growing up. So it was my wildest dream to be signed to them or to be you know what I'm saying? Be around them and touring.
Be a part of that movement.
Yeah, to be a part of that movement and be embraced by them and all that shit is like the most humbling experience, because all my childhood friends know that was our dream. That was our fucking dream. And never in a million years did I think that, like, even as big of a dreamer and believer as I've always been, I don't think I ever thought that, like, and sometimes I still be like, damn, that's crazy. Like, I'm friends with my favorite rapper, you know what I'm saying? And we on tour, sold out dates. So when I say moving compartments, we got damn near every ghetto in America fucking with the Airheads, to where my face and my brand and everything is really popular with the Airheads. And then we have the music, and then we have the Juggalo, Insane Clown Posse culture, you know what I'm saying, that I came from, which is a super diehard culture, family, supportive,
It's very diverse too, isn't it?
It's very diverse. It's all different. It's people from all around the world.
Because I've seen videos of the festival.
The Gathering, which I'm headlining, performing main stage.
I ain't gonna lie,
this year.
I remember seeing that on YouTube way back in the day, and I always just wanted to go just to see how it was.
So,
like, just to see what it is, because it just looks like mad fun. Everybody's hanging out, having a good time.
Gotta go. Unbelievable, man. To circle back to earlier, the reason I got sent away to that Utah lockup shit for 2 years is because I ran away to go to the Gathering of the Juggalos festival.
That's crazy.
And I got there with nothing, snuck in under the fence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I came from that to headlining the main stage, going on main stage this year and having songs with them and being their artist and being a part of the family. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I really have a dream come true type of story, bro. You get what I'm saying?
Everything came full circle.
Yeah, and I'm living it in real time right now, and I'm very glad that I know that I'm in the middle of it right now. Because a lot of people, they look back like, yeah, man, those was the days back then, man. I wish. You get what I'm saying?
Versus
but I'm
you're
like,
acknowledging
right
I'm
now,
in
I'm
this
living my
moment
dream right now.
That's dope.
Coming up pretty soon is the Gathering Festival. I'm on the main stage. I used to sneak in that shit. You know what I'm saying? We took the Greyhound there, and you know what I'm saying? All types of wild shit to even be able to, so to be able to come full circle is just an unbelievable feeling, And now, like, it's fun for me. My life is weed and music. That's my two favorite things in the world. You get what I'm saying? And that's what my life is about.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? There's not a better situation in the world than doing what you love, because I would do all this shit for free. You get what I'm saying? Regardless. So that, like, I love it for real. So I would do it for free. So to get paid and make a living and make money off this shit is a dream come true.
Find success,
and to be doing it with the
things you
people that
love.
I chose when I was a kid, that I wanted to, like, I spoke this shit into existence. So when I was talking about manifesting and, you know what I'm saying, really, really believing and speaking shit into existence, power of positive thinking and all that shit, like, it's real. Like, I've made it happen over and over and over again in many different times, to the point where I know it. Like, if you, like, you really have to believe in it, and you can't just believe in it and sit back. You got to really believe in it, speak it out loud, and you have to like chase it. You have to do it every single day. You can't just, oh yeah, I believed in it my whole life and it never happened. Well, what did you do, bro? You know what I'm saying? What did you do to really like, like I done been through the ringer, bro. I done did everything you could imagine, been in every hood in America, been shot, almost died, been da-da-da-da-da, I done been through it all. And we still not there. And I'm still grinding, still pushing, still trying to make this shit happen. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people would have given up or died if they went through what I went through, gang. You know what I'm saying? So I realized that, like, you got to put in the work, bro, and be a good person, because karma will work against you big time in this motherfucker. I'm terrified of karma, bro. Shit is the real deal, So to come from sleeping on the floor and selling heroin and running away to go to the festival, to performing at it and doing, like, it's really a good feeling, because I really feel like I'm a young legend, bro. Like, in my heart, I really feel like I done really, like, did shit that, like, one day, like, there'll be a movie about my life, bro. I done had to we just scratching the iceberg, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just talking about the major moments, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, this shit is life is a trip, bro, when you really put your all into it, bro. A lot of people sit on their ass and don't do nothing, bro. Like, you gotta not everyone meant to be a boss, Not everybody meant to be a boss. A lot of people meant to be workers. A lot of people meant to not do nothing in life.
Well, that's also where the survivor's guilt can come into play, because you realize everybody isn't meant for success, but you are able to look at your life and see that you were the one that was chosen for it. Yeah. Have you had the conversation with your parents where they tell you how proud of you that they are?
Every day.
Really?
Every day. My mom going through chemotherapy right now.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's all, but like I said, power of positive thinking, she gonna make it. But she tell me that's the only reason, like, she okay with going. If it wasn't for me being here, she want to keep seeing me succeed. And I know that that's what's keeping her going, is like, every day I got something new. Yo, mom, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? My life is so crazy. Like, we was talking about the universe. Every day almost, I'm like, ain't no way this possible if God or the universe ain't real. Ain't no way I bump into this person at the gas. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person, I meet Dr. Dre at the gas station, bro. That's the type of life that I've had. You get what I'm saying? Like a real, the stars align for me, bro. The stars consistently align for me, bro. And I'm a good person at heart, and I project that, and I take care of a lot of people, and I look out for a lot of people. And I feel like when you do that, it's returned, the good karma, just how bad karma can bite you in the ass, good karma will come around. So I try to keep that karma wheel going in the right direction at all times, Well,
with that being said, for my last question, what advice would you give to a younger you? Because there's so many people that are walking in the same paths that we took. What advice would you give to somebody that's walking in a similar path as you?
I'll answer it in two parts. I made a post recently saying, I posted a young picture of me, like when I was like 11, 12, and I was like, this kid would have never believed that I was, if the future me came back and was like, yo, I'm you in the future, this is what's gonna happen, I would have been like, you lying like a motherfucker. But I would have told myself, keep doing exactly what you're doing, because I'm extremely happy with where I'm at right now in life. You know what I'm saying? I'm very happy, despite, everybody got shit going on. But I'm, I done put in a lot of work to get here, dog. You know what I'm saying? I done been through a lot to get here. I done shook a lot of hands, been around a lot of people, dealt with a lot of bullshit, been, thrown through the ringer, mistreated and all that, to be able to get to the point where people respect me and people know who I am everywhere we go. And I would have told myself to just keep doing exactly what you're doing. But someone else, I would say consistency, find out what you love in life, find out what you would do for the rest of your life for free, and then figure out a way to make money off of it. So that you never feel like, oh, I hate this, I don't want to be doing this. A lot of people confused in life, man. A lot of people don't know what they doing. A lot of people working a job or some shit, people working at the fucking vet or something, they're like, I hate dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people just are not in the right situation. So for me, I feel like one of the many tricks in life is to figure out what you love so that you will do it every day for free until you can make a living off of it. Because if you want to be a worker, then go get a job at the corner, but you ain't never finna evolve. You get what I'm saying? If you want to be a boss, you're going to have to work and work and work and work for free. Fuck for free. You're going to have to spend your own money, spend your own paper, and and build up to the point. But the best thing you could do is to make it something that you love, so that you don't mind doing it for free until you see the fruit from it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my advice. Find something that you love and then figure out a way to make money off of it.
That's dope.
Make a product off of it.
That's dope. I love that. Well, hey, I'm gonna be honest. I think you one of the best, most well-spoken people I've ever sat down with.
I appreciate that, bro.
I appreciate you sharing your story with me. There's a lot of things I resonate with. I know a lot of other people will feel the same way. And it's very inspiring hearing your story.
That's what I want to do. I want to inspire the scrubs, the people that came from nothing, the people that didn't come from a silver spoon or necessarily a good situation, or came from, addiction and fucked up homes or whatever it may be. Like, that's my main thing. If I can inspire someone to go outside and make something of themselves or believe in themselves, especially juggalos and people that come, like I said, people that came from a fucked up situation, can look at my story and be like, wow, this kid really fucking been grinding for all these years and actually made it happen way later. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people blow up their first song they put out, or, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people have stories where they was famous at 18 years old and made millions of dollars. And a lot of these artists I'm looking at like, yeah, we've been making music for 10 years before we got any fans.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, like I appreciate the words though, for sure, because that's my main goal, is to inspire people. And not if you I don't care if you rich and I inspire you. That's what I'm here for too. You get what I'm saying? I want to inspire the bosses too, but I really, like, my heart want to inspire people that came from nothing. You know what I'm saying? And be like, wow, like if Wakko can do it, like I seen him, you know what I'm saying? I seen him fucked up a few years ago. Like, shit, if he can do it.
Even the kids that's in that, in that rough environment that we was once in, the kids that's hanging out under the bridge, spray painting, and I hope that they hear your story and they
just have a dream,
get
bro. You got to dream.
And
dream big and go
believing
and
in it.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, any last things you want to say to the camera? Shout out your brand. Let them know where they can follow you at.
Yeah, Wakko The Kid, WAKKO The Kid. And, the brand is Airheads. It's bigger than life. You know what I'm saying? The biggest weed brand, the biggest lifestyle brand. Shit. And new single out right now, Back It Up, featuring Soulja Boy and Icewear Vezo. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they would ever had a record together, you know what I'm saying? But I'll put that together. That's my peoples. Shout out Insane Clown Posse, Rio the Young OG, and RMC Mike. That's my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And shit, so many more. Grand Hustle and Tip and all these motherfuckers is been family to me and really allowed me to be around legendary situations. And, my brother Shad to God, and period, you know what I'm saying? So that's about it, man. Wakko The Kid that did. Let's go.
That's dope. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on, bro. It's been
love,
great
bro.
meeting you.
Sure.
Till next time.